get like
Coming up.
it's like I said, it's just very, very confusing.
So would you just be like getting reborn as like a baby?
Like I've had like bad blowjobs before.
So like when they're getting butt fucked, like the other one just has to kind of get butt fucked because the other one's gay.
Is William's real human body on Earth?
Wild theories, Bill.
Which, because I know you fell asleep during it, so you probably don't remember a lot of it. But do you remember?
Which one?
Do you remember Future World at all?
Yeah.
In that one, here, oh, hold on, Nick's texting me. In that one, do you remember that like the story of it was like those people? It was like that couple or whatever got awarded to go to the park for free or whatnot, and then
Yeah, and then they got killed.
and they cloned them and copied them and shit like that.
Yeah.
Me and Nick think that's what's going on in the golden age, whatever the new park's called.
Yeah.
And then he was saying,
Well, they kind of show you that with that late guy that
well, yeah,
was
in the open,
Charlotte Hale.
Yeah, well, with that, and then the park, me and him are like, oh, this is really getting future worldy.
Yeah.
So that is interesting. I wonder if they really are going to be copying all of the people in the park. Like any human that enters into it, maybe they kill the humans and then they send robots home.
I mean, when Maeve and Caleb go in, they say, like, we have access to all your personal data.
That's true, yeah. Which
So,
makes me wonder,
like-
do you think possibly we could... Oh, God, he just keeps texting me.
Okay, Nick, we're doing a podcast, Nikolai.
Here, hold on, I'm just going to text him a recording, so maybe he'll stop.
Hey there, Buster. Unless he's texting you about Westworld theories.
He's listening to a Westworld podcast, so he's texting me about that right now. So it would be helpful, but it's also interrupting.
Tell him unless it's like something that blows your mind.
I should have told him, we should have invited him to this, and he could just listen like in the background. And then it's like he's listening to a Westworld podcast live, and then we could throw him like, hey, fuck you, Nick. Little jabs at him as we go.
Well, it's funny because he should do these podcasts and he could be like Silent Bob.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
And he literally just sits there and doesn't say a fucking word. And we don't tell anybody why. It's just like, just to throw people off.
That would be the funniest fucking thing in the world.
It's Silent Nick.
Silent Nick, I love that.
You got Josh, Jerome, and Silent Nick.
Did he tell you he listened to our last Westworld podcast?
I don't think he did.
Yeah, I don't remember his thoughts on it at all. He might have commented. I don't know. But Jesus Christ. He just said, oh, okay, I'll stop texting, which also you did text that, and then it interrupted.
Yeah. It's okay. Well, just be like, is he like walking right now?
I think he's probably playing zombies and listening to a podcast. That's what he likes to do.
Should just be like, Hess said you should join the Zoom call and just sit
there
and,
as Silent Bob.
Yeah, silent Nick.
I'm pulling up the YouTube to see. Oh yeah, so we got 2 comments on YouTube.
Cool.
Someone said they like the streetlights being spawn points theory and our woman in black theory. That'd be really cool, they said. And then Billy Jackson says that my fingers are tightly crossed that this season blows every season out of the water. I don't know why, but I got a feeling this one's going to be good by the end. So it's not really much of a theory. He's just like, I don't know. I like the vibes of the first 2 episodes, kind of.
For sure.
But
I lost a lot of faith when Maeve and Caleb got there, and they literally went
when it was the same exact. I started laughing when that happened because I knew you were going to be like, oh, come on, this is the same fucking thing.
I'm like, here we go. I'm like, we're back in season 1. It's just
but I love that so much. That's just how things get me. It's just that, remember what you saw before? Now it's got Aaron Paul in there doing it. And then I'm just like, all right, I'm in, baby.
Instead of not Johnny Pemberton, what's his name? Jimmy Simpson.
Johnny Pemberton.
Do you know who that is?
I have no. Who's Johnny Pemberton?
You don't know who Johnny Pemberton is?
No.
If you Google him, you might know. Did you ever watch? He's like a comedian, a stand-up comedian. Did you ever watch?
Johnny Pemberton.
Superstore. Did you ever watch
Oh,
Superstore?
I do know him. Okay, I had no idea.
Yeah.
His name. You know, he would.
Yeah.
I could see actually the crossover there. He does look a little Jimmy Simpson-ish. I'll give you that. Maybe maybe it's a theory.
Wild
I don't know.
theories.
Yeah. Wow.
Wild theory.
And then
Bill.
so that really, like I said, it didn't. I'm just like, oh fuck, I'm like, here we go again. The whatever Roaring Twenties Gangster World looks cool.
It does look neat. I feel like how much you want to bet in the next
It's
couple
probably,
episodes?
going to be disappointing, but
Probably.
it looks cool.
But how much you want to bet we're gonna see another like robbery at like a saloon or something in a couple episodes, and it's gonna be the same song. It's gonna be the same way. A safe's gonna fall down. We're gonna see the same thing.
Probably.
I guarantee
And
we see that.
if that's the case, that's when I stop doing the live.
That's when you quit. Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, then you know
Yeah.
what? I hope if that happens,
Well,
I'll tell you to fast forward through a certain part.
It's funny because I'm watching this and like that train rolls up, that big, and I'm like, what is this, Polar Express? Like it looked like
It was shooting a lot of fucking dust out of that thing. A little too
I'm
much.
like, Jesus Christ! I'm like, what is going on? And then, question.
Okay.
So, William is alive.
I guess, yeah, that made me happy too. That made my pecker hard.
Okay.
I saw that. I was like,
I had a hard on this morning.
Right. But now he's going into a dreamless, sleepless.
yeah, he's just gonna wake up every once when she's like, I'm gonna tell you more of my plan, Man in Black.
Yeah. So the William that's in the show, he's like obviously created by them.
Yeah. Well, and apparently he's a Dolores because she said every robot that she's made is a copy of her. So wouldn't that mean he's a Dolores? Kind of. They didn't say that, but doesn't that kind of mean that if every copy is her?
So confusing.
But she said, am I wrong?
Yeah, you did.
I was really confused by that as well. I was like, does that mean like, because we know Bernard. Well, she did make Bernard too. Does that mean Bernard's a little Dolores?
I'm probably.
Stubbs. I guess she didn't make Stubbs, so he might not be a little Dolores. But
It's like I said. It's just very, very confusing. It's very like, oh, this person's actually this person, and and then I watched the next on, and then Bernard's in.
Finally, we get Bernard back. Thank God.
We're getting wasn't Stubbs in the next
Stubbs
on?
is in it too. Yeah, because Stubbs was like dying in the bathtub when he did
and
whatever
then,
last season.
What is that? Is that supposed to be Bernard's daughter or something? That
No,
black
see,
girl?
I had a theory about that. I don't know for sure, but especially that Reddit video you sent me before the pod.
Yeah, the
what if-
Olympiad Entertainment.
Yeah, what if
Can you put that in, or can you link it, or
I
what do you
could
think?
I could probably clip part of it in here, yeah.
I think it's only 39 seconds
Yeah.
long.
People always ask, what's it like working at a company like Olympiad Entertainment? Honestly, it's a dream come true. We get to tell stories every day.
Felt so real. Then they were everywhere.
Plus, New York is a place of unlimited possibilities, where inspiration comes from real life.
Then the slice came from me.
At Olympiad Entertainment, there are no limits. You have the freedom to choose your own path.
Christina. Pick a side, Chrissy.
So what's your story?
It's like a little, for people that don't know, it's like a little trailer to go to Christina's work or to work with, and then it has like little trailer splices in there.
Yeah. But see, it shows the fly thing.
Yeah.
So like that was in episode 1. So that means like, but see, I don't think Christina knows that she's working for that like that. I don't think she.
Oh, yeah, no, she has no
thinks what
clue.
she's doing is bad.
Yeah, and she's like a little Dolores where she's just like kind of oblivious in her little world.
Yeah, she's a little dumb bimbo.
But I think her friend might be the grown version of the little girl Bernard maybe found in the next on. And
what if?
And only because in that audio thing or that trailer you sent me, you hear a girl voice saying, "The flies come for me."
What if it's a grown-up version of Maeve's daughter?
In the first step, I wondered about that. I thought, and I was like, but that would be so wild. Because that would actually fit. Because with the first episode, I wondered about her being in the Valley Beyond or wherever Bernard went to. I forget because I have so many names for it.
I believe it's the Valley Beyond.
And isn't Maeve's daughter there?
I believe so.
So
she got her in. Maeve got her in.
Yeah. So if Christina's there by deleting Rohibaram or whatever because she's wherever Teddy's at, that could work too. She could be Maeve's daughter.
And we got Clementine back.
But she was pretty. Yeah, I don't know why. It is Clementine. The whole time I was calling her Angela. I wrote Angela down in my notes.
Man, I don't know.
And it's fucking wow. Okay, well, it is Clementine, but yeah, she was fucking badass this episode.
I don't know if her name's Clementine now, but that's
Fingers
Clementine.
crossed. Maybe they were calling her Angela in this episode, and that's why I was doing that.
Yeah, if they were, I didn't catch it. I'm not hating. I don't care, but yeah, I thought that was interesting that we got her back, and then obviously Charlotte Hale.
Yeah,
I can't remember if we got Charlotte. I don't think we got Charlotte Hale last episode, right?
If we did, it was like a little snippet.
Okay,
I don't remember.
So do you still believe that there's 4 timelines? Are you still on a 4 timeline theory?
I don't know about 4 timelines, but I think there's at least more than 2, maybe.
Okay,
like I feel like they've already done the 2.
4, right?
Yeah, I read the theory of 4.
Okay,
but the Caleb thing, because this episode in the opening, I think it's like right after the Clementine scene. They're in the car, and Caleb brings up her being alone in that cabin. So does that mean what I thought was maybe a future scene actually was just an in-between seasons that she was remembering Caleb got hurt?
It could be.
It could also be just them editing and him bringing it up, so then after he dies, she goes back there too. But it felt like to me that was like, oh no, that wasn't a future scene, kind of.
Right.
So that if that timeline would be out of the question then, at least.
The thing that made me question it was the William with the vice president of the United States on the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
So and then obviously, I feel like that's a different timeline than most of the show.
I can see that. I can even see there being
just because he's
timeline differences just by a little bit. Like you're seeing him build his army, and then when you see Charlotte Hale talk to the Man in Black, it's like 10 years later or something. Like little bits different.
But I mean, so they Clementine or Angela, who knows, puts
I think I'm just Clementine, but
puts the the thing around the dude's neck, and then the fly goes in his eye.
Yeah, that was fucking gnarly. Ugh.
So that's how they take over a human and clone them.
I guess. Well, maybe one. I wonder if the flies shit that black goo that Caleb was talking about in the next on. Because he's like, remember that black goo? Because when they killed that human next to the horse, her head was all gloopy and shit. It was all fucking weird.
Abby hated that
Oh my!
scene,
I thought of her with all the dead horses. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
She's not gonna like this one.
Yeah, she watched it without me, and she's like, I did not like episode 2. And I go, I knew you wouldn't like that scene. And she's like, she goes, I even watched until after the episode to make sure they didn't use real horses. I'm like, they didn't use real horses.
My God, can you imagine they gutted real fucking horses for that? That'd be crazy.
They definitely didn't use real horses. Speaking of Abby, real quick, she told me about this, and she reminded me to bring it up to see but she says she thought she saw Hale's husband that died in the car crash and William's daughter on the train car.
Oh shit! I mean, if they are there, great catch. I didn't see that.
She just said she thought.
That's interesting.
And I didn't catch it either, and I was like, oh shit. I'm like, no. And she's like, make sure you see if Jerome caught it or if he thought.
I'll have to watch it a fucking third time to do that. Because I watch it once just normal, and then the next day I'll watch it and take notes. But now I'll have to watch it a third time after I get.
Well, you can just fast forward to the theme.
Yeah,
to the train scene, not the theme.
Mm-hmm.
The theme.
Were
the theme.
Were you happy when they decided not to wear hats? And he's like, I'm not really kind of a hat guy.
No, I would. I mean, I always wear.
See, I figured you liked that because it's the same thing, but it's a little different. They're like, nah, fuck
it's
the hats.
Same fucking thing. And then Abby asked me if I would have let the robots stay around and help me get dressed.
Oh, we all know you would have. You're like, oh, I can't put my pants on. You put them on for me.
And I said, of course.
Then she started
she's like,
you.
are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, I think we've probably talked about this before, but is it cheating if you fuck a robot? Is that cheating? I feel like it can't be. I told her because she asked if she could, and I said sure. Yeah, I mean, it's just like using a vibrator or something, or like a pocket pussy.
I agree.
It's just like a human pocket pussy.
Jerome said it's just like using a vibrator or like a pocket pussy. She said, I guess.
I guess. It's just, the pocket pussy can talk to you and do some things, and sometimes the pocket pussy might have a butthole or a mouth.
So I wonder, I mean, obviously, I wonder how advanced it is. Because, I mean, I've had this is on a tangent, but I mean, like I've had like bad blowjobs before. I mean, not everyone's good at them. So I mean, like I wonder.
These robots have to be skilled at giving head.
Well, but that's what I mean. But like each guy likes different shit. Like likes it a different way. Abby's lurking around the corner. Okay. But if you find it, text it to him so you can. She's looking up the train scene to see.
Okay.
So she just sent it to you. But I don't know if you can screenshot HBO app. I think it'll just be a black. I think it'll just.
I know.
Be a black.
I know Netflix makes it black. I'm not sure about HBO.
Okay. But like some guys like different things. So I wonder if like it being a computer / robot, if it like knows like your like how you like your head.
Oh, I bet you they can fucking like scan you or I mean, because they have a lot of information anyways. They could probably look you up and down, being like, "Oh, I know he likes his nuts licked," and then
screenshot it and
can't because it's.
Did you try?
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
It does it black.
Yeah, it goes black.
HBO Max. Yeah,
I don't even remember what he looks like.
Yeah, I don't either. I thought he would just pop in my head seeing that, but I can't find him. I'll have to look it up after. But that.
It's definitely not. That's what does. No, just because he's light skinned doesn't mean he.
You can't tell me that's not William's daughter.
Is that William's daughter?
That looks just like William's daughter.
Oh, this I feel like could be.
Let me see. This I will. Oh no.
Jesus goddamn Christ.
Okay, that's definitely not her, but it looks a lot like her.
You don't think it's her?
It's not her. It looks like her. I mean, it could be her that's supposed to be older, because it looks a little bit aged for her. But it is very similar.
Yeah. See, and I don't know that. I mean, I didn't catch any of that. And then Abby, was like, I go, oh, I'll talk to Jerome. Jesus Christ. All right.
But what did you have written down for the episode that you want to talk about, and then we'll get into my shit here.
I mean, I thought, like I said, I thought it was interesting that we have basically the entire gang back with Clementine showing back up.
And then we got Bernard and Stubbs next app.
And then you got Bernard's and Stubbs.
Do you think we'll get a Ford since everyone's come back? Do you think we get a Ford this season? Because there was no Ford last season, not even a little cameo. I don't believe.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
I think if he doesn't come back, I think he'll come back in the last season, whenever that is. I think as long as he's alive, I think he'll be back in the last.
So the other thing I had written down was with the senator.
Mm-hmm.
So they just cloned them and replaced them, right? That's it.
Yeah, I guess they beat the shit out of them on the golf course and shit, and then
they just cloned them.
They probably already had the robots made. They were just waiting until they could kill them with no one around.
Did you know that guy played the senator in The Office?
Oh no, I did not. Wow. Do you think it's the same? Think he's a fucking robot in that? Probably.
Did you never saw The Office?
I mean, I did, but I didn't remember him in it.
Yeah, he's the one. Yeah,
that's interesting.
He's the one who has Angela's child. Maybe that's why.
Oh, that's why I didn't even know.
Wow,
yeah.
I loved that scene though on the golf course. Him just hitting it every time, and then the guy was like, "Oh fuck, this guy might be a robot."
Yeah,
like him just realizing it after like the fourth time he hit a hole in one. That was pretty cool.
Well, that gave it away to all of us.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know to what extent. You know what I mean? Like I didn't realize that he was still alive and that this was just a robot version of him.
Yeah.
But why? I get. Why? What's the point of keeping him alive at this point?
I think, like she said, I think it's just like I'm gonna wake you up and remind you how much I'm fucking over the world that you supposedly loved.
So it's just like
it's just like a petty thing. Like you came to Westworld all the time and fucking killed me and my mom and dad and whatever. So I'm gonna do this. I think
so. It's just like to get back. So can you play your Ludacris? It's just like
it's just like
Fuck you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wild theories, Bill.
Or she wakes him up and goes.
Well, but why put him to sleep? Why not? Why not just stream this shit right in front of him and make him?
Well, I'm assuming she's gonna wake him up after every big thing she's done, or like everything so that way he like stays alive through the whole process. Like if she just keeps him awake, what if this takes 200 years and then he just dies halfway through?
So is Charlotte Hale is a robot?
Yeah, she's Dolores.
Okay.
Which is she's just the evil the Dolores, and then the good Dolores died, and it's just weird.
So do you think that is William's real human body on Earth?
Oh, that'd be wild. Because remember, me and you, like, first season, we were like, this place has got to be in space. That would be crazy if it wasn't on Earth.
Because, like, where are they conducting? Like, where was Charlotte Hale when William
I just assume it all takes place in that tower that the homeless people keep talking about. That's just what I've assumed, but I like your theory. I like it not being on Earth. That's kind of fun.
Because, see, that would be other timelines, too, if...
It's true.
If it's not on Earth, because I'm assuming... William, when they were at the golf course with the vice president, was on Earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe the vice president visits other planets now.
Which I read an interview with Ed Harris talking about, because they were like, oh, now that it's out there, you're playing a robot and you're playing the human, all that.
Yeah.
And he was talking about it, which one, he said he used to be good at golfing and then he stopped for a long time. So they had to have a professional help him with his swing and all that. And he was even kind of criticizing his swing. He's like, it wasn't that great, but I mean, it was decent with his help and all that.
I mean, what is he, 75?
Yeah, he's old as hell.
Pretty old.
But he talked about the Man in Black. So actually, I think we need to clarify. What do we want to call the robot Man in Black and the human Man in Black? Do we like William or the Man in Black, or what? Just to make it not confusing.
Why don't we call the robot Man in Black, and then we'll call
the human William.
Okay.
So he was talking about being the Man in Black then, and he said that right now he's just a henchman for Dolores / Charlotte Hale.
Right.
But he said later on down the season he starts making his own decisions and becoming his own person. So what if like he ends up going against that and ends up like saving himself or something, like saving the human him or like something like that, and then you get a Man in Black team up.
It's possible. Here's another question that I had.
Mm-hmm.
So Dolores is Charlotte Hale.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Charlotte Hale is essentially a bad guy and wants to destroy Westworld.
Yeah, and just repopulate the Earth with herself, I guess, or like with just robots.
But I mean, but that, I mean, like, she's bad.
Yeah, that's what I don't get either. She doesn't realize that like people are just gonna grow up to be her and evil.
Well, that's what I mean. But like with this Christina chick who looks like Dolores, like, why is she quote unquote potentially good as of right now? Like, so they can just morph and become bad at some point?
Well, but we don't know if this Christina has anything to do with the Dolores, like, robots. She could even just be, like... Because I saw one theory today that what if she eventually ends up going to the park, she gets, like, copied or whatever, and they copy her and create Dolores. And we're just seeing, like, the origin of Dolores, like, where it all came from.
Yeah, so that's just too much for my brain.
But I don't know. That's where it has to be something like that, because you cast the same actress in their show, and you're not just going to have another character that looks like another character. So like it has to be something connected to Dolores, but it's not. They're saying she's not Dolores, which is weird. They're like over and over again saying she's not Dolores.
I understand that, but I mean, they also kept saying that Man in Black wasn't a robot, and same thing with everyone else.
You got a point, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because I mean, like with Bernard, I called it early, and they were like, "Nope, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not." But he was.
The way this season's going too, I think we're gonna get another Bernard host reveal or something by the end. It's just the same thing. They're just gonna say he's a host again.
I wouldn't doubt it, but see, that's the thing, and that's just. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. 2 episodes, it's been fine. It hasn't been bad, but. It's just like, fuck. I feel like we're just gonna relive season 1 all over.
No, I think we definitely are. This is like
in a different world with different quote unquote characters who are different characters. If that makes sense.
Put all that on the poster describing season 4.
Seriously, it's so nutbag.
No, yeah, it is like it would be so hard to sell someone on this show at this point now. Like, describe the entire story would be so confusing to do to somebody.
Well, because it's like I was telling you last week that I was telling the guy at work, because he was asking for stuff to watch, and I go, "What?" I go, "You should watch Westworld." He's like, "Well, what's it about?" And I go, "I can't really explain that."
You go, "I don't know, just watch it."
And he's like, "What do you mean?" And I go, "It's hard to explain." I go, "You just have to watch it, like, you know."
Yeah, no, it really is extremely hard. You can like. There's a park and then there's like you can give them that, but like it's so confusing going down the whole thing, explaining, and then you gotta explain just the first season with Arnold and Bernard to somebody. Remember all of us anagramming his name and shit.
Season 1 was 6 years ago.
Yeah, Jesus.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But before we move on, hey Alexa, how old is Ed Dave? What's his name?
Ed Harris.
How old is Ed? Shut up, Alexa. Alexa, stop. Alexa, how old is Ed Harris? Alexa, how old is Ed Harris? Oh, apparently, I broke mine, and she's 70. He's 71.
He's 71. Wow. You know, he's a very good actor for a 71-year-old.
I don't know why I said Ed Davis. I don't even know.
I love Ed Davis. Sounds like it'd be a good motorcycle. Have you riding that new Ed Davis yet?
Maybe that was the guy that was chasing you back in the day.
Oh,
biker.
Fuck, Ed Davis. That's why I love the Man in Black.
Ed Davis. That's about all I really had written down. Was like that, like with, like, because in my head I'm going, well, if like Dolores is Charlotte Hale and she just basically wants to fuck over William, obviously the human William, and she's creating people like they're all just going to be evil. Yeah,
no, it is. It's very interesting where like where they want the show to end up. Like, do you think it's going to end with just like a show populated by like the robots took over and they just live everywhere?
I feel like,
and like say like there's a robot president, there's a robot like you're just going to see everybody. Like that seems we've all guessed that from the first ep, so it can't be that. Yeah,
I mean, it's just too simple-minded.
Yeah,
like a fucking 7-year-old could have written this if that's what it ends up.
Yeah. Do you like what would make you happy with the
you
show?
You figure season 5. What do you think? 2024 at least at the earliest.
Yeah, at the earliest, yeah.
So this show is going to span 5 seasons over 10 years.
Oh my god,
and they're going to just be. It's just going to end up with.
That would be so fucking funny.
Like what? There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Not a chance in hell. I don't know how it's going to end, but there's no way. Oh, the only thing is like if somehow William figures out how to get out of the hyperbaric chamber that he's in, and is able to kill Charlotte Hale / Dolores and save humanity or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can't be something that simple-minded where they're just like, yeah, everything's robots now.
I mean, I get that, but it does seem like that's the route they're going.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like you could take turns really quick.
But it's got to be more.
You know,
they're gonna
because I feel like this Peter Myers. There's more to this Peter Myers than what we like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'll go into my things. So I have just written down by their names, which I see up here: Angela, Clementine. But for Christina, I put the homeless guy asked her about the song with no sound. It's killing them, and it's coming from the tower, and it's killing all the birds. And then there's a couple dead birds on the floor, too.
Yeah, but would it be classified as a song if there is no sound?
Yeah, that's what's real. I don't know what the fuck that means. Everything he says, I
realize he's a homeless person. He's supposed to be like a crazy person.
Mm.
But a song with no sound, so they're just talking? You're just hearing someone talk?
No, it's a podcast.
You know?
He's just listening to a podcast, and he's not educated, so he's like, oh, it's a song with no sound. He doesn't know the term podcast.
I feel like you should rename our podcast to A Song with No Sound.
That'd be good. That almost sounds like a Game of Thrones title, too.
It does. Yeah,
but
for sure.
With that guy, with him, like how he talks and all that, me and Nick were texting about this yesterday, and I told him, do you think maybe that's, if she is in a simulation, if this is like a simulation world or something like that, maybe the homeless people is someone trying to get a message into that world? Because, she walked up, and he didn't acknowledge her at all. He acted like she wasn't even there. So, like, I was thinking maybe him talking, like he's not in
he wasn't.
Like, he's not in control. Someone's speaking through him or something, maybe.
So I mean, like, so he was just like, he's just like a speaker.
Yeah, he's basically just like a little speaker there. That someone, like maybe Bernard or somebody outside is trying to get a message inside. Maybe
that makes sense.
That was
yeah.
Did you ever watch WandaVision on Disney Plus?
I never got around to it.
There's a part where like someone's like the FBI or someone's trying to get to her through like a little radio, and she's like in a sitcom, so stuff's going on, and then all of a sudden a voice comes through the radio and it gets all weird. That's what it kind of reminded me of. So that's where I thought of maybe it is someone trying to talk to her, but I don't know.
I mean, it makes total sense.
Because then also, as you brought up with the Peter dude too, she goes to the wing and it's empty, but then she sees the tower that the homeless guy's talking about, all the drawings of it.
Yeah, and then like the guy's name's on the wall.
Yeah,
the place has been shut down for a long time. So do you think that was like it was an old thing of his, or do you think they were about to build the wing and they haven't got around to it yet because this is like a host world? I mean, they made it look old to me. I don't think by any means that it was something that they were in the process of building. To me, it looked old because it looked like it was, chain link fenced off.
I guess that's true. Yeah,
super old, and and then they had all the drawings and stuff, which looked different than what it was.
Yeah, actually. So, what do you think the people inside were about then?
Probably just the people revamping it, and then or like whoever is owning it. Or like what they're turning it into, or I mean, hell, it could be more robots.
That's true. Well, because also it reminded me a little of Mavis.
Because
she walked in there and she says, "Just go away now," or something like that, and then they all walk away, or like just leave, and they all left.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing too. I mean, obviously, we know that this person's on Earth because when her boss called her, he's like, "You're in New Jersey."
Yeah.
So, unless she's in a simulation. That's just like GTA open world,
which it could be too. They could have built everything in there, but that is a little weird that like they would have. Like it is weird to think about it being a simulation and how advanced it is, which I mean I guess is like that's kind of the point. But like that, it's so advanced that they're tracking her car in a a simulated person's tracking her simulated car through a simulation is so strange.
Like I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy, but like a lot of stuff lately, like shows, movies, are like time travel.
No, yeah, everything's time travel. Everything's multiverse. So
does that mean like that we're like going to be introduced to time travel soon? Like they're just like trying to.
Oh, I would love that in Westworld, but I think everybody would hate it.
Familiarize like time travel with everyone to be like. Hey, it's coming. Like we've been showing you movies and video. Like I'm talking like in real life.
Oh, in real life, not even in Westworld. In real life. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, have you seen all that shit about that thing CERN on TikTok? I've seen it all over TikTok.
Doing it today.
And it happens. Yeah, today. It's supposedly if you drink alcohol, you'll go to a bad dimension when it happens.
It's going on for 4 years. They're doing it for 4 years.
Damn.
And it's like cranked up to like full max. But see, I guess the last time they did it was 2012, and that's what everybody says is like all the name, like the name change, like the Berenstain Bears, like all like that, and then like some people say it used to be Sex in the City, now it's Sex and the City, which I mean I don't know that, but I mean the Berenstain Bears, I swear to God, I could have swore it was the fucking Berenstain Bears, not whatever it is now. Like the Mandela effect. People say that that's where the Mandela effect came from.
It is
like that 2012 CERN thing or whatever the fuck it is.
That would be wild. The thing that always scares me about like they're like, oh, something's gonna happen. You're gonna do another universe. Is like, how do I know I'm not just dying and then like the other universe is just happening, or like I was copied and put into another universe?
Well, yeah, but see, that's the thing. We wouldn't know. Anyways.
Yeah, and then you'd have no idea. But like, and it just is. It just seems so like.
But what if you don't really die? What if you just die and go to another universe as yourself?
Oh, I gotta do a little. That's wild.
Like, I mean, what if it was something like that where you just like, oh, your time in this universe is done. Or you know what I mean? Like, oh, yep, you've completed all your goals, or you've completed this level, and then you die, and then you move on to the next phase, multiverse or whatever.
Can you imagine just like how much that would fuck with your mind if like that happened, and then you're just like, oh, yeah, I'm in another. But then you have no clue.
I don't think we would. I feel like we would be like Men in Black, where our minds were erased. Yeah, I do, because I mean, could you imagine like if you took all of your memories and went to a whole new shit?
That would be insane. Do you think you would like? So would you just be like getting reborn as like a baby? Do you think?
I don't
or do you
know.
think I'd be like myself now? Just all of a sudden, I'd be like,
I think
and then I'd have the
like
memories of whatever that person had in the universe.
Yes.
That's wild. So I mean, I guess it kind of is like dying then, because you know the other memories.
Kind of, but like, what if? I mean, we're going way off here.
Yeah.
But,
Which this reminds me, I have another question for you after this. This has nothing to do with Westworld.
But like, what? So like, like, let's just say like, that this is the case. You accomplish all your goals in this universe, okay, and then you go to the next universe where someone actually did die because they failed. Like they could, like they didn't finish their tasks, they didn't finish their goals, so like they actually die, like they die, and then you go and take their spot.
Yeah, this sounds like a great TV show. I would watch this.
Got all of this out of the pot.
You gotta pitch this to HBO Max or Netflix.
Cut it all out. Cut it all out.
That sounds like such a great show.
I feel like it could be really good.
Yeah, and then, like right when you complete, like, and you start it with someone like completing their life and moving to a whole new universe.
Yeah, but it's like on Earth, but it's, I don't know. I never finished. I never continued watching Stranger Things. So like the Upside Down or something to that effect. You know what I mean? Like where it's like it's familiar, but it's not like Arizona's called.
So like the sky could be purple wherever that's at, or something a little different.
Yeah. Maybe
we swim in like diarrhea instead of water.
Or we drink poop water instead of regular filtered water.
I don't know if I would complete all my life goals in that universe if I'm drinking poop.
Yeah, but
I guess if that's normal.
As you go in, your mind is like, you're just like, it's just like the people in other countries that eat like shit that we're just like, that is disgusting.
I guess that's true.
They grew up eating it. And they're used to it. It's the same thing.
Yeah, like balut. Have you heard of balut? Like the little egg. The birds in it.
Yeah, it's disgusting. But they grew up eating it. That's what they're used to. Same thing with us, like drinking milk and eating cows and shit. There's some other countries that don't eat cow and drink milk and shit. They're like, that's disgusting. So so like as you would go into just cut it off.
So traveling the country is like going to different universes.
I'm going to start writing a script.
Yeah, I think you should. You should write the show. This would be great. I would 100% watch that.
What do I have to say? Copyright.
Copyright has. Nobody make this show, fuckers.
Yeah.
Before we get right back to Westworld, I heard this on a different podcast today, and I was curious what your thoughts were. Have you heard?
Sure.
Have you heard? I guess it's like this meme going around of these Siamese twin brothers, but only one of them is gay.
I haven't heard
so
this.
So when they're getting butt fucked, like the other one just has to kind of get butt fucked because the other one's gay. So can you imagine?
Not true.
I've seen pictures. I don't know about the butt fucking, but I've seen pictures of them, and one of them's like kissing like their boyfriend, and the other one's just like sitting on the couch looking at him.
So they're not identical twins then.
Well, they're Siamese, so they're conjoined at the hip. So like they have. That's the right word, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it is. Conjoined, maybe. It might be conjoined, not Siamese. It's conjoined.
I thought like Siamese was like a cat. That's why I was like, what?
No, sorry. It's conjoined twins. My bad. They're conjoined twins.
Okay.
They're hooked at the hip. But can you imagine that? Like if you were hooked up to your brother and he was gay and you weren't, so like you're just getting fucked in the ass because your brother wants to get fucked in the ass and you don't really have a choice? Like that would be so insane.
It would be nutty.
It would be very nutty if you know what I mean.
This is true. Yeah, I'm gonna try to look this up.
I don't know anything about them, but I just saw their picture and saw people talking about it, and I was like, that would be the most insane life.
Think your life is tough?
Yeah, that one.
These guys are Siamese twins, and only one is gay. They share the same ass.
Yeah, see?
So they share the same ass.
Yeah, so like imagine that. Your brother's getting fucked in his asshole, but his asshole is also your asshole.
So do they play that racist Disney song? I am Siamese. Or what, like that, like, I can't remember.
That's what they would have played in my version of the story.
I don't understand.
No, yeah, it's pretty wild.
that.
I don't know if that's real or not. That could be completely fake, but that's just what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first I've ever seen of it. That's the first I ever saw of it. That's wild. I sent you a Twitter something that I literally just saw while I was on Twitter. I don't know. They said they saw this in the sky the other day.
Dang,
There's no way.
The hand of God. I would die if all of a sudden I looked outside and that was in the sky, and then there's lightning through it. I'd be dead.
Yeah,
That would scare the shit out of me.
I know.
Just like Nick sent me, these people were at the beach, and like you would expect like a shark to show up or something, and a fucking giant alligator showed up on the beach.
Wow.
And he was like, I think that's scarier than a shark, and I was like, fuck yeah, because that bitch can chase you out of the water and like eat you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not about a shark or an alligator.
Yeah, no, fuck both of those. But let me, I'll go through my notes real quick, and then we could wrap this up. So for Angela Clementine, the Man in Black captures her, and it looks a little bit like Maeve's place when he captured her the 47 times. I wrote that down because it was another thing that's like very similar to season 1, where like it kind of looked like her cabin. And then we talked about Caleb and all that, but I want to bring up that when they're interviewing and trying to figure out about William and the hosts, at the timeline of Caleb and Maeve, William only has 249 hosts.
Yeah.
At that point.
So, and then she
so
talks
if we hear
about
any other
how,
numbers, we'll know that is a different timeline then.
Yeah. Well, and she talked about how they're not gonna like. Was it they're not going to do it all at once, or they are going to?
Yeah,
do it
she wants to slowly drip them out so then they grow and become their own people and all that. Which also makes me wonder if the Man in Black is a Dolores, because that interview he said he's going to grow into his own person,
right?
And that's exactly what she said here.
So we are to assume that Caleb is a human.
I think Caleb's a human, but I got a feeling Maeve's going to get him killed this season, and we might end up seeing a host of him.
Well, because he was like, I feel like you should have a gun. And she's like, why?
I really like that, too. He's like, it didn't go well last time when you didn't have a gun. I'm really liking it. They're doing the same shit, but he's kind of really saving the show for me, too. Like, just him being with Maeve and all that, because if he wasn't with her and it was just her entering the park, like, it'd be cool, but I wouldn't have been as interested.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a different dynamic with a host / we think he's a human.
Yeah. Well, because also in one of the trailers, you see flies like coming out of him and he's crying and screaming and all this shit, like one of the early trailers. So that's why I also think eventually Maeve might get him killed. But then because he's in the park, they should have his shit and they could copy him.
But what if that happened in a prior timeline and he's already a host?
Oh, fuck. I guess, yeah, we saw her little... Oh, yeah, what if in her little flash...
Because, see, they don't know. I mean, they can do whatever they want. So that's the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
They could be like, oh, we just never showed you.
Yeah, and they didn't, because it could be when he got hurt. Yeah. Like, in her little memory thing. God, it's so...
Well, but it could have been last season with the war and all that shit or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
So Hale ties up Navarro, which I thought this was interesting. The guy Navarro, Nick texted me about him. Did you recognize him? The one that Hale tied up and explained all the shit in the car, and he was like, "I know you're doing bad things," and it was after the guy in the car she tied up.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I didn't recognize
he was Marty's partner in Ozark, the one that gets killed in the first step or something, and then he kind of comes back in flashbacks. It was him, but I thought it was interesting because his name was Navarro in this. And then you have the Hector Navarro and all them in Ozark. So I thought it was interesting that his name was that in this.
Yeah.
But I didn't recognize him either. I was like, oh, he looks kind of familiar, but didn't think anything of it.
Yeah, I didn't.
And then Nick was like, I looked it up. He's from Ozark.
Yeah, I didn't catch that at all.
But then nothing else really there other than what we talked about with her replacing him and all that. And then I put Bernard and Stubbs are back, and they find the girl who's the key to saving the world, apparently. And my only theory about her is that she grows up to be Christina's friend.
So do you...
Wild theories, Bill.
Do you think that Caleb's wife and child get killed?
I mean, it seems to be getting brought up a lot. And he's like, either he's going to die or they're going to die. One or the other, because he keeps bringing up that they're his world and all that.
Yeah, no, I know.
And it really does seem even more and more now that they're really... Because I know Aaron Paul was supposed to be William in season 1. I wonder if that's partly why they're doing this too with him. Because everything with him and William seems to be very similar, you know? Like they're like I even brought up in the first episode with him and his family, there was some things like that. And then now they're talking about his world. So like, what if he does lose his wife and his daughter and he does kind of become a man in black?
I mean, I feel we're headed right down that road.
Yeah, like, it seems that way, but I think it's gonna be like a little different because like he didn't pick a hat, so maybe he's like he won't be named this, but he'll be like the man in gray. Like I think maybe he'll be both sides if something happens.
Yeah. Did we see what he was wearing?
I think they.
Did he have white?
I think they. I think it was mixed. I think like May was white and he was black, or it's a bit dark, but it does seem a little mixed. Like he's wearing like a darker suit and looks like May's wearing a lighter dress.
Okay.
So it seems to me like it's supposed to be like they're kind of gonna be the gray ones that are like they're for saving the hosts and the humans, and they're gonna want to try to find a mix between both to make everybody happy, is what I think will eventually happen. But I could see his family not dying and him dying instead, and them switching some shit. But if his family does die, that's the route I see it going.
I can see that.
Because then it's supposed to be like, see, my family died too, but I didn't become evil like you, Man in Black. You little bitch.
This is true. So yeah, I mean, so if Caleb goes down that road of being, quote unquote, a version of Man in Black, would he ever come face to face with William?
I would love that. And imagine if we got to see like a scene of like somehow like a young William and him. It would never happen. But I would love to see young William and like Caleb have a scene together.
Well, they could do it. They could do that shit.
It is wild though. When you think like which I guess it doesn't make sense because she has to use him. But when you think like just in case, Dolores would have made like a young William host or something. If she's like using him as like a little like a, I guess just a henchman.
Well, we had young Ford and all that.
Yeah, true.
We had the Ford family dog when he was a child. Like,
it's funny stuff like that. Like they made like we can't go back to that because there's no way that kid's that age. Like that kid's an adult now. The young Ford.
Well, yeah, but I mean, but do they age?
No, but like in real life, like they can't bring the actor back.
Well, obviously, but I mean, they could get
I guess because I think in season 2, I think they did like CGI him a little bit, so I guess they probably could do that. But yeah,
because I mean that's my other thing is like, are there different types of hosts? Hosts that do age, hosts that don't age, like you know what I mean?
I assume they're not supposed to
because originally like they didn't age, like Maeve,
remember
Dolores, and
remember we had
Clementine.
the whole thing going about like the Man in Black, his facial hair. And we're like, well, he's not a host yet, at least, because then he shaved and he bled, like all this stuff. And we're like, oh, there it goes. That was when you were kind of like, no, he's a host. So we were trying to find anything to say he wasn't. But no, it almost feels like they don't age unless the actors look older, and then they might be like they got an upgrade or something, you know?
Right.
But I think they're not supposed to look older.
Because if that's the case, I mean, you know, I don't know. Wild.
Also, with you saying that though, like their plan can't work that long because wouldn't people be like, "How the fuck is William still 71 years old? He's been around like 200 years."
Yeah.
So like something like that, you think would have to come up.
You would think.
But yeah, that'd be interesting. Do you have any last things you want to say about the second episode?
I don't think so. Do you think we'll get Bernard and Stubbs next episode or in the coming weeks?
I hope we do. I mean, we saw him in the coming weeks trailer. We saw him in the next on. Hopefully, they're actually coming. Because then, it already is feeling like Westworld again because they're doing the same exact show again. But having a Bernard back and Stubbs and stuff like that, that'll be fun. Plus, that'll actually be a different storyline. So maybe it won't be exactly like season 1 next episode. But
hopefully not.
Last thing I want to say too, which is exactly like season 1, is they went to the new park on a train in episode 2, just like they did in the first season. So even more exactly the same.
But I mean, like, I honestly will quit the show if it plays out like season 1.
If in the second to last episode you watch the next on and they're having like a big party. And it looks like all the hosts are gonna like break out of the park. Are you even gonna watch the last episode?
No. No, I probably would just because I told you I did the season with you. But
that's true. Then you're like, I'm not watching next season. I don't give a fuck.
You'll have to recruit somebody to fucking fill in. For
that's when I go, hey, Silent Nick, come on, Silent Nick. Where you at?
You just talk.
I'm just like, what do you think about this theory? And he's like,
yeah, that's right.
That'd be wild.
It'd be crazy.
But all right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like, subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter and our Clips channel and Spotify. You can watch the podcast on Spotify now.
Yep. Rate, not rape.
Yeah, rate, not rape. And comment any theories you got down below. And we'll see you guys next week for more Westworld.